So it's been a little quiet on the censorship front for the past couple of weeks. Everyone seems to have gone home with their tail in between their legs because there was no censorship, there was no conspiracy. This has been demonstrated because through all of the games that have come out over the past couple of weeks on Nintendo Switch. You know, the bikini shizo debunked, the idea that this was Nintendo doing it, debunked, right? We've talked about this before. You know, East Asia Soft and Idea Factory have been demonstratedly proven to be lying about what they've been told and what's going on behind the scenes purely to get a shred of attention from the mainstream by pretending that Nintendo is doing it, right? This idea that, like, Nintendo is censoring games has been this weird, like, conspiracy theory since the 90s. It is not true. It never has been true. And the most recent example of this is this visual novel called Kanon, which I never heard about before, don't care for it, won't play it, looks like garbage. But, like, the narrative right now is that Nintendo censored this game. The reality being that this game is Lolicon, right? You know, pedophile art made for pedophiles by pedophiles, right? You know, like, underage sex scenes featuring minors are in this game. Now, this was a deliberate, like, thing that, like, the censorship crowd, like, tried to, like, write off or ignore. Like, they tried to do things like, oh no, this was, they censored the all ages version. It's like, it's just a gigantic cope because this is not something that we want to see in America, right? This is the kind of thing we should be censoring, right? We don't want this kind of material to come out in this country, right? I'm very much against this, always have been, always will be, and to see so many people try and raise a stink about this, you know, trying to make it out as if this is like some like huge deal and that like Nintendo is like doing something when we know at this point that what's actually happening is that like Visa and MasterCard are doing their thing behind the scenes to try and stop these kind of stories featuring minors from being made, right? You can't distribute it, you can't draw it, you know, based Visa and based MasterCard, right? You know, saving us all from the Lolicon menace and saving us from like the rabid fanboys who would like shell out the ass for this kind of stuff, right? No, the fan men, I should say, who would shell out for this stuff, you know, like these fucking pedophiles, right? Lolicon is pedophilia. I do think this is something that we do need to address and do need to talk about. Like, you know, the cope I keep hearing from the community is that like it's Japanese culture. You can't condemn it. Like, watch me, okay? I don't give a fuck. Fuck their culture. It's disgusting. Not funny. It's not cute. It's not charming. It's like the worst thing about anime, I would say, that I can think of right now. Like, you know, having a lolly in something objectively makes it worse, okay? Like, you know, the sheer amount of people who make it seem as if, like, this is, like, a big thing in anime culture and that this is a big thing. No, like, the pandering to otaku is what's ruining the anime industry. You know, instead of making good shows that people want to support and watch and like will remember, you know, creating like fun, interesting storylines with like great animation, instead all studios know they have to do is just like shove a cute girl in it and suddenly like, you know, people are just like all over it, right? They don't. A lot of these kind of fans, you know, the Lolicon people, like, they don't care about quality. They don't care about, like, what the material actually is. They don't care about, like, the story or the artistry. Like, all they want is, like, material to goon to, right? And this has to be addressed when it comes to it needs to be acknowledged that this has been negatively influencing the industry probably for decades now, right? Like, this is objectively making the industry worse, especially when, like, whatever these people freak out when they don't get what they want or can't fetishize one of their characters, you know, like the amount of times I've seen people complaining about, like, DL site getting attacked by Visa and MasterCard over the past couple of years. It's insane, right? Like, you do have to understand that porn is bad for you. Okay, it's not even like we're not even talking about like the illegal porn, the stuff that you shouldn't, that no one should own. Like we're talking about like the basic vanilla, like it's terrible. Okay, it's all bad. It all needs to go. We all have to shut it down. We do have to understand that this is causing a negative impact on society. So yes, we do need to start banning Lolicon. Yes, we do have to start banning sexually explicit shit. Yes, we do need to start acknowledging that this is a real cultural problem between the East and the West that does need to be acknowledged, right? I, as an American, never want to see Lolicon ever, right? It's just not something that should exist in America. And I am very proud of that, and will continue to support any company that tries to stop this stuff from being distributed and making necessary changes to bring over, things that might be seen as like having a legit story to it. Like Canon, to what I understand, has like an actual plot to it, and there's more to it that's going on other than like the sex shit. So the censorship is 100% necessary, and I support it. And I will support further censorship of other games that will be coming out, not only on Nintendo platforms, but especially PC and other gaming platforms. Like, especially PC, the idea that I can just de-censor it needs to be banned. We do have to address the elephant in the room, that people who are going to such extreme lengths to look at underage girls having sex or something are probably doing more legit things than that, right? Legit, what am I talking about? More extreme things than that, excuse me. More extreme things than that. This is a very good example of just how warped the priorities of the censorship community actually are, because they don't care about values, they don't care about morality, they don't care about actually the culture. All they want to do is just sit there and goon forever, and that is something that absolutely cannot be allowed. This needs to be expressed. This needs to be acknowledged. We need to ban pornography.